Don't look now, but there is a team to beat in South Florida. And that team right now, in my opinion, Stoneman Douglas in 7A has reemerged, in my opinion, as the team to beat heading into the district playoffs. So we're going to have a fun episode, everybody, here on the Curtain Call podcast, because we're going to break down the district tournaments that are going to go on from 7A down to 1A, and I got the brackets for people, and we're going to just kind of dive in. It should be it's going to be a lot of numbers in terms of names of teams and who's playing what. But right now, it's go time, everybody, because it's the time for the playoffs. Unbelievable, but the regular season is now over here in South Florida, well, in the state of Florida, but how it pertains to South Florida, focus obviously at Man on Second, a lot to do with Broward County and Miami-Dade County as well. But before we dive into that, let's take care of some business. Please like, subscribe, and hype these videos. And another little items now I'm putting on my videos, on my shorts, on my game recaps and so forth. There's a shopping link, and it helps grow the channel. I'm always going to keep my content free, but this if you're so inclined, I'm going to try to get baseball related items out there. If you're in the market for baseballs, bats, or gloves, or so forth, and you're buying them anyway, you want to shop online, you could, I'd appreciate it if you had hit those links. You'll see them on the various on the various videos, like I said, in the shorts and the videos. But again, it's so inclined, no pressure. But if you're in the market for it, take a look at it, because it does help drive the numbers and allows me to reinvest in Man on Second, and as we're building the Curtain Call podcast and Man on Second channel. And also, it's been a big week for Man on Second, because in the last day or so, we've topped. Keep in mind, I relaunched the site in February of 2024. It started in 2021, but really didn't do anything for about a couple of years. Didn't know what I was wanting to do. But since relaunching in February of 2024, a few days ago, I topped the 20 million view mark in that. So it's a little over 2 years. So I appreciate all the support as we're growing this channel and Man on Second and the brand, and just providing so much exposure for our young athletes. Obviously, I cover everything baseball related, and even some high school football and so forth, or whatever I feel like it. But obviously, high school baseball is the wheelhouse, and it's the engine that's driving this. And again, I had a busy week out there, even with some rain. I got to see Stoneman Douglas play Chaminade, and this was the day after they beat Key West. Actually, it was funny because they played the game twice because of rain. They played 2 innings. They went into the top of the third with Douglas leading Chaminade, and then the lightning meter went off, and then the rain came, and boom, that was it. Game got washed out. But they resumed it on Friday. I'm recording this on Sunday. The district tournaments and games are going to start in the next day or two, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, throughout this week. The first, the district, then we'll get to regionals. So they picked it up in the third inning, and this was the day after Douglas beat a very good Key West team. I think it was 3-2 was the final. Gio Rojas, the great pitcher, left-hander who projects to be a top 10 overall pick in the draft this coming up for Major League Baseball. Gio followed that 11 performance up by DHing in the game against Chaminade. Here we go. What did Gio do? Gio just hit a home run, my friends. I think he had 3 hits in the game. There, look at that little graphic. He had the ball where it landed in the trees over there in that gentleman's backyard. And there's Gio. Just this guy can do everything. He's just a consummate baseball player. And to be honest with you, he's the reason why I think Stoneman Douglas is a favorite to get back to Fort Myers. Even though 7A is loaded, it should be really intense. But, this guy is this next level elite pitcher who's completely motivated, and you could see how he impacts the game with his bat. He plays the game with so much fun. he does everything well, and as you see here, he can go to the opposite field and to right center with a home run. Gio Rojas, congrats, my friend. Just an amazing player. It's been a privilege covering you, and you got more baseball to play over there at Stoneman Douglas. But yeah, hats off to Gio. And in that game, Douglas did what they tend to do. They were up 2-0 in the first day, picked the game up, made it 3-0 on that home run I just showed. But then in the bottom of the seventh, congrats to Shaman Ramadan for fighting back. They made it a 3-1 game, and then they scored to make it 3-2. Josh Wright hit a triple, the RBI triple to make it 3-1, and then he came home on AJ Diaz's ground ball, which pitcher needed to go over and cover first on it, didn't do so. So you technically, I guess, give him a hit, but that should have been a much needed out. But so now it's 3-2, tying run on first, but the pitcher Ben Bianchi ends up getting a ground ball double play to end it. So as Douglas, that's a typical Douglas game this year. They're not the Douglas dominant teams that we've seen. Yes, they won 5 straight state titles with teams that just kind of steamrolled you. And this team has to do it a little bit more the old-fashioned way, the hard way, by having to scratch and claw and come up with big plays, executing big pitches. Repeatedly, they did it. Reed Daddick started that game and then pitched a couple of days later. Reed did very well, and Reed's going to be a big to do if Douglas does make its way back to Fort Myers. Let me kind of dive in, because 7A to me is going to be the most fascinating classification pertaining to South Florida, because you have Stoneman Douglas, state power, 5-time state champs, defending state champs. You got Columbus and Miami playing at a really high level, and you got West Broward, who's playing at a ridiculous high level, and we'll get around to West Broward in a little bit. But they're on a bit of a roll as well. They beat St. Thomas Aquinas, and then followed that up, I believe it was last Saturday, playing Matter Academy Charter in a matchup of 2 super pitchers, with Ivan Sabater going against Stephen Gonzalez of Matter, both potential draft picks, and Ivan came out on top. I think that score is 4-0. But as we kind of look into, first of all, the way they do the rankings, they do it through Max Preps. The Florida High School Athletic Association comes out with these rankings. I believe these are the most up to date, because they do take it off of Max Preps, but something on the seedings may not be 100% right. But I just kind of jotted stuff down. The way they break it down in 7A, or the whole state, this is the top 10 in 7A in the whole state. You have Venice, Creekside, Columbus, they rank ahead at 3, ahead of Stoneman Douglas 4. I'm not sure that's 100% accurate. Maybe it is. Columbus did beat them head-to-head. So if they do go in regionals, I'm not sure if they reseed after every regional round. First of all, we have to get through districts. But it looks like, from what I understand, now it may not be right, but what I saw, it looks like Columbus would host Douglas. So that means at a best of 3, with the first 2 at the field of the higher seed, and if it does go to a decisive game, that goes to the lower seed. That pertains to everyone. Then number 5 is Spruce Creek, number 6 West Broward, 7 Sarasota, 8 Windermere, 9 West Orange, and 10 George Jenkins, a school in Lakeland. Then I just kind of wrote this down. Overall, the way they did Florida overall, no matter the classifications, Venice 1, IMG Academy 2, South Walton 3, Jesuit of Tampa 4, Trinity Christian Academy out of Jacksonville is 5, Canterbury is 6, Giles out of Tallahassee is 7, Creekside is 8, Bishop Snyder is 9, Columbus 10, and number 11 Stoneman Douglas. So, like I said, the way 7A, let's go to Douglas's district. They are in 7A District 13. They will open with Taravella, I believe, on Tuesday. The dates are all in there. I'm, again, recording this on Sunday. So Douglas is the 1 seed. Taravella is 4. Taravella is scrappy. They're still pretty young. Obviously, it's going to be a tall order for Taravella, but we will see how they do in that one. The 2nd seed there is Western, which is a team that's capable, especially if Alex Hernandez pitches. Alex has thrown very well this year, but he's going to pitch in the semis, so he wouldn't be available. I think I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him yet, but they're going against Coral Glades, who's 3. So it depends how they want to do it. Does Western go with their ace, hope they win that, and save the ace for Douglas, or can you even assume that? So that'll be interesting to see what Western does with their pitching, and obviously they have to get through Coral Glades. So that is 7A. District 13. Just a couple of players to keep in mind out of Stoneman Douglas. Great years. Obviously, I mentioned Gio Rojas. Gio now has 4 homers, hitting .311 on the season, but on the mound, 6-1, 0.82 ERA, 76 strikeouts in just 42 and 2/3 innings to go with 9 walks. So strike thrower, dominant, best player in South Florida, in my opinion. Pitcher wise, for sure. It depends on what you think. The scouts, what they think. Jacob Lombard down at Gulliver Prep in Miami. Shortstop, another one. These are 2 guys potentially going to the top 5 overall. So we will see, but obviously we're blessed with 2 great ones. Then you got Reed Daddick, who has had a really good year at the plate, hitting .324. And Reed, he's shaping up as going to be really important, because when Gio's not pitching, it's what's Douglas's pitching going to look like. Reed Daddick do very well against Chaminade Madonna. For the season, Reed, 33 in the 3rd innings, 3.36 ERA, 20 strikeouts, 10 walks. Again, hitting-wise, Jake Rizzo, great year, .324, batting average, 3 homers. Gio, I think I said, hit 4 homers this year. Reed Daddick hitting .324. Cade Raleigh hitting .315. R.J. Ruiz, .297. Those are some players at Stoneman Douglas. Let's flip it over to West Broward. They are in 7A District 14th. The best news of the week for West Broward is the return of Manuel Sarcos, their fine catcher, a great catcher, who got hit in the eye with a pitch a couple of weeks ago, back out there on the field. And I believe in Mano's first game back, he hit a home run. So poetically, great job. So happy to see Mano back. 25 RBIs on the year, leads West Broward, hitting .365 on the year. This is how it's shaping up. West Broward in 7A District 14. They will play there. Keep in mind, they don't have lights at West Broward, so they're going to be the top seed to play all their games. All their games will be at West Broward, day games, because they don't have lights. So right after school, 3:30, whenever they set it, West Broward, number 1 seed against number 4 seed Hialeah Gardens. The number 2 team is Cypress Bay. They are up against the number 3 team, Goldman. I did see Cypress Bay face Archbishop McCarthy. I'm impressed with that team. My boy Keegan Pita hit a home run in that game. They got some good players. They got Nelson Cruz, his kid, Nelson Cruz, big left-handed hitting first baseman. He swings the bat pretty well. Goldman, they go up against Goldman. So that's going to be an interesting game there. So, again, like I noted, big wins for West Broward by beating Matter Academy Charter. Ivan Sabater with a 2.29 ERA, 33 and 2/3 innings with 54 strikeouts. Ivan's throwing really hard. University of Miami commit. Ace Aguila having a great year pitching-wise, 41 in the 3rd innings, 45 strikeouts to a 1.52 ERA. The hitters, AJ Cruz, their fine shortstop, who might be playing 3rd or 2nd. They kind of move things in the infield around. But AJ is hitting .419, 5 homers. 5 homers paces the team. My boy Ethan Lindor hitting .333. Ethan's great year, great table setter. This team's built to win. It's now or, I'm not going to say now or never, because you never know never. But this team has been together for several years, this nucleus, this core, and we will see if West Broward. Right now, though, it looks like they would either, assuming everyone advances, they would be the road team at Douglas and Columbus. I'm just not so sure how it's shaping up, but to my understanding, Columbus would have home field over every 7A team in South Florida. Let's go to the Explorers. Columbus, 22-3 on the year, 7A District 16. Columbus, super steady all year. They've been very consistent. Their number 1 seed, they played the number 4 seed, Miami High. Number 2 seed is Coral Gables. 3 seed is Ferguson. Again, we expect Columbus to emerge out of this district as well. Robbie Oyarzun is the leading hitter at Columbus, hitting 481. Juan Jacome hitting 345. Rafael Diaz hitting 391 with 6 homers and 27 RBIs. This team's loaded. They're really, I've seen them several times. They got D1 players all over the place. They talent-wise, they might be, at least they're starting out. They might be the most talented team in South Florida, talent-wise. Pitching is strong too. They're good team pitching. They got big arms that can win as well. But we will see. Is it Columbus's time? Last year they got frustrated by West Broward in the regionals, so we'll see how it shapes up. But 7A, man, get your popcorn. But better yet, if you have a chance to go and watch these games, that's definitely worth watching. There's so much talent on the field in 7A. Let's take it down to 6A, where the heavy hitters here in Broward, we got St. Thomas Aquinas. They are a dominant team in 6A. They're in that district. They got a bye in that number. They're number 1 seed, number 2 seed, Flanagan High. Flanagan doing some really good things. We saw Flanagan beat Stoneman Douglas a couple of weeks ago. Then I saw them in one of the more interesting games I've seen in a while, because the game was played almost entirely in the steady rain, yet the field somehow stayed, pretty good. And the players, it was a 2-1 walk-off win, Flanagan over Archbishop McCarthy, on a game that I didn't think would go more than 2 innings, but it went all 7, and it finished up with trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the 7th. Flanagan literally was down to their last strike. And then Eric Nodal, he got the game tying hit on, I think it was a 1-2 count with the tying run at third to make it 1-1. And then his twin brother, Edwin, came up a couple of batters later with the winning run in scoring position and got the game-winning single to left field as well. So that you can never underestimate what a walk-off win does to a team and their confidence. So keep an eye on Flanagan. Flanagan, like I said, they're going to play number 7, Dr. Kropp, in their first round. Number 3 seed there is Cooper City. They're going to face number 6, South Plantation. Number 4 is Nova. They will face South Broward. For St. Thomas Aquinas, again, they've been so consistent all year. Really no letdowns. They've been a dominant team, obviously the defending 6A state champs. Nico Sabatino finished the year. Congrats, Nico. He finished the year hitting 500. Now, he missed a few games due to an injury, but still with 50-ish at-bats and finished with a 500 batting average with 3 home runs. Great job there. The other 6A power down here, favorite to go to Fort Myers, we're talking about Doral Academy in Miami. They are in 6A District 16. The Explorers are 22-3 on the year. They are the number 1 seed in their district, of course. Southridge, don't count them out. They're a pretty good team. They're number 2. Number 3 is Braddock, and the number 4 seed is Miami Beach. Miami Beach will face Coral Park, number 5 seed. With the winner of that will face Doral. Southridge will play Braddock. And just a couple of names of the pitching. Pitching's really good. They got a really good overall team anyway with Doral Academy. But Andy Espinoza, 32 2/3 innings, 51 strikeouts to a 1.29 ERA. Chris Vasallo, 37 1/3 innings, 40 strikeouts. Again, it's shaping up. Obviously, you got to get through district first, but shaping up that we will see St. Thomas Aquinas playing Doral Academy in what could be. There was a great best of 3 last year. They went to 3 games, and so again, we're going to see how that plays out. 5A, defending state champs, Matter Academy Charter. They are number 1 in their district. They will play Everglades. Number 4, 2 is Hialeah, 3 is Varela. Some names: Andre Suarez hitting 417 for Matter. Yodalkis Quevedo, he's finished here at 409 batting average. Dylan Fernandez, 397. Steven Gonzalez had a little bit rough patch against West Broward, but Stevens put himself in a very enviable position to get drafted. 38 innings pitched, 60 strikeouts, 1.84 ERA. Jaden Lau, he has 25 2/3 innings, 30 strikeouts, 1.65 ERA. Team that's built to win it all again. Matter 5A. We will see if they will get there. Over in Broward County, the big 5A District 15, you got number 1 Archbishop McCarthy. Even though they're under 500, number 2 is Pembroke Pines Charter. They're a couple of games under 500. They're going to be playing their district over at Pembroke Lakes. That's where Pines Charter plays. Number 1, McCarthy plays Hollywood Hills. Number 2, Pembroke Pines Charter plays MacArthur. I saw MacArthur play a couple of times this year. Enjoy watching them play as well. For the Mavericks, so McCarthy, my boy Miguel Delgado hit .415 in a regular season, playing a defense at short. To me, is playing like a draftable player in the field. Will be interesting to see. He is a FIU, Florida International commit, but it'll be interesting to see how the draft comes for Miggy Delgado. Robert Kearns, the great quarterback, baseball player at McCarthy, finished year hitting .351. Their ace, keep an eye on Felipe Benitez, really good pitcher. He pitched against Flanagan in that rain game, but it'll be interesting to see how he does. Pembroke Pines Charter, Dean Jawowski, and now a senior. I've covered Dean for several years. One of the really underrated lefty pitchers around, but hitting-wise, hit .340 on the year on the mound as 1.01 ERA. Pines Charter has some underclassmen pitchers to keep an eye on. If they get hot, they could win this district. Between Dean and with Andrew Probst and Ashton Pardo, two really good arms. So Pines Charter, the question is, will they score enough runs? And they beat Doral 9-1. So they are capable on any day to pull off a major upset. As we've seen them do it before. Let's take it down to 4A, District 15, defending state champion American Heritage from Plantation. One of the hotter teams right now. They'd been up and down and mostly under 500 or really, just a game or so under, just were struggling to win big games, but they're on a roll right now. Did have a rain out against Matter Academy, so it's a shame about that one. And also had a rain out. We're going to play True North Classical, another great team, but that didn't come to fruition because of rain. But Heritage has won. They're going to face Northeast is number 4 seed, and American is the number 5 seed. The winner of that, I don't know how it breaks down there, but number 2 seed is Somerset. But it's really shaping up that Heritage is going to play Somerset Academy, and that could be a game for the ages. Great news for Heritage is Brady Snow is completely back. Their fine pitcher, another one who every time he touches, hits the mound, the pro scouts are there. Very much Florida commit, but very much could be drafted. And for them, while Brady was out, it really allowed Mason McGeehan to really step up and pitch as an ace. Left-hander who's had a great year, 2.67 ERA. Brady Snow, 1.05 ERA with 41 strikeouts and 26 and 2/3 innings. Gabe Rosenfeld, another lefty, 0.90 ERA in 36 and 2/3 innings, 37 strikeouts. Gabe will play a big factor in how far the Patriots go. Their offense is waking up. Kike Santos, 29 strikeouts. He's more their closer. He may go a couple of innings. Really talented arm, though. In 17 1/3 innings, 29 strikeouts. At the plate, Bladen Caballero, the Vanderbilt commit, the junior now, 371 batting average. Angelo Giraldo and Gavin Ruvalcaba both are hitting 368. Angelo, he hit a home run against Flanagan earlier, in the week, and Gavin hit a huge home run the other day against who did they play? Kings Academy. It ended up being a big time blowout, like what was it, like 16-2 or something like that. I think it was 16-2 because if they had 2 8-run innings. If they had scored one more run, they would have 4-inning run ruled Kings Academy, which had some pretty good players. That outcome could be a little surprising based on the talent that Kings Academy does have. 3A, District 12, North Broward Prep. They're in their number 1 seed. Clewiston is the number 4 seed. They're they'll face the number 5 seed Somerset Academy Canyons, not to be confused with Somerset Academy Pembroke Pines. Then their 2 seed is Coral Springs Charter. The 3 seed is American Heritage Del Rey, and they will face Glade Central. The number 4, they'll face them. Whether it might be the 5 seed, I don't know. I didn't write that one down for some reason. Caden Coleman hitting 338 for North Broward Prep. Jack Rostock, been one of the better pitchers in South Florida, one of the better pitchers around. 2.10 ERA, 51 Ks in 40 innings. Let's take it down to 2A District 14, where Chaminade Madonna has a really, really good shot to, get out of South Florida and go to Fort Myers. But first, they have to get through the district. They are number 1 seed. NSU University, Nova Southeastern U School. A lot of rainouts for U School this year, but they are number 2 seed. Number 3 is Florida Christian. Those teams will match up. U School will face Florida Christian at U School. And we got Westminster Academy and the 4 seed, and number 5 you got Hialeah Educational Academy. So Chaminade, very good. Josh Wright is hitting shortstop, hitting 397. AJ Vargas, center fielder, hitting 393. Spencer Krasner, 239 ERA, 42 strikeouts in 38 innings. Caleb Paul, sophomore, keep an eye on this kid. He pitched 5 innings in that makeup against Stoneman Douglas. It was really good. Just gave the home run to Gio Rojas. No shame in that. But Gio's about the only guy that hit him with any authority. So I'm looking for big things from the Lions. I think they got a team capable of getting to Fort Myers. We'll see how that goes. U School, Landon Combs, great year for Landon, hitting 326. Pitching's going to have to be big. It's going to have to be big. And I got to scratch out enough offense. Matthew Greenberg, great senior year, hitting an ERA of 0.73. Mark Manuel, who plays outfield and pitches, 1.65 ERA. Mark is somebody, he gets hot. He's capable of carrying that team. Monsignor Pace is in 3A District 14. Their number 1 seed. Number 2 seed is I Matter Academy, and number 3 is North Miami Beach, excuse me. Andres Fernandez is hitting 348. He's kind of one of the better players there at Monsignor Pace. In 3A District 13, we have Cardinal Gibbons. They and as well as Calvary Christian Academy. Calvary Christian Academy will be the number 1 seed in that district. Cardinal Gibbons is 2. Pompano Beach is 4. Pinecrest is 3. So what you're going to have is number 1 seed Calvary Christian Academy facing Pompano Beach in one semifinal of district play, and the Cardinal Gibbons will host Pinecrest as the 2 higher seed playing the 3. Down in 1A, out of Miami, you got 1A District 16. You got Miami Christian at school that's no stranger to reaching Fort Myers and playing for state titles. They're number 1 seed. Schoolhouse Prep, who team I did see against a couple of teams, they got some good players. They're number 2 seed. They're playing the number 3 seed Dade Christian. Number 1 seed Miami Christian will be playing number 4 Burrito. So that's kind of my rundown here, and covered a lot of teams. May have to kind of, as these districts go down, to dig in deeper with them and do some of these podcasts a little shorter, maybe, and a little more team or classification specific. But again, congrats to all the players, the coaches, the parents are, putting up with all the nonsense and all the travel and the commitment out at the fields. But like I told several of these players, right now with games on the line and the seasons are on the line, the fundamentals are going to be huge. And, you're going to be playing a lot of close games. So the execution, and I saw 2 teams do this. I singled out Douglas, but it happened in another game where the pitcher on a ground ball to the right side of the infield, mainly the first baseman, the pitcher not covering first base, which resulted in the runner being safe and extending an inning. And you don't want to make those kind of mistakes. You can't take any out for granted. You can't assume And you need to know the rules. You need to know the rules. You need to know how to run bases. And I think if you could run bases well, and you know the rules and you could kind of minimize mistakes, obviously minimize walks, there's a chance you will be moving on in the tournament. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to look and see, and that's probably why it's the main reason why, because I was even talking to a scout. He noted about Stoneman Douglas. The scout, this is a scout for a big league team. He said about Douglas, he said they're so well coached and they just kind of allow, they'll do their things right. And then when the other team makes a mistake, they capitalize. So sounds simple, but they're battle tested. They're built for this. And the teams that will be moving on are the teams that are the most fundamentally sound. And even though it's been an overall, not that dominant team that we've used to seeing here in South Florida, but we got the Gio Rojas's, and before we get out of here, let's see Gio's home run one more time. Boom, there he goes, taking the ball to right center. And it is out of here. Gio Rojas. Yeah. So again, the stars come out when the big time. So what do they always say? Big time players show up in big time moments. So right now we're going to see who the big time players are. And with that, again, everyone, please like and subscribe to the channel. The support is amazing. Already over 750,000 views here on the 12th of April. So did 1.5 million views in last month. We'll look to top that this month. And then, obviously, hopefully in May when the state playoffs go, really elevate this even more. Man on Second will be there. Like always, please like, subscribe. Like I said, if you want to purchase anything that you see on the shop, would be greatly appreciated. If you're in the market for that, please give that a consideration. But with that, thanks for everybody for tuning in to Man on Second. We're going to see how these districts play out. We'll be back in a few days, and we will check everybody out in the next